Good evening, everybody. It's David Schlotthauer here, and I hope you're having a great Father's Day weekend. I know I am, except didn't sleep much last night, but I hope you guys are having a great time with your dad, barbecuing for him, probably going out to the water park since it's pretty hot across much of the country, down across the deep south, and then back here in California, it's just lovely out there for today. So I hope you guys, excuse me, sorry about that. But I hope you guys are doing really good though. I hope you guys are enjoying your Saturday, and then of course tomorrow is Sunday. Now, of course, we are going to be talking about the tropics because there are a few tropical waves that we need to keep a close eye on out there, especially over the main development region. And you guys are like, oh, David's clickbaiting. Oh my gosh, he's fear-mongering. No. And that's not what I'm trying to go about this, because there's something just quite interestingly that pops into my eye and is like, oh, this is a little strange on what we're seeing out there in the main development region. Now, let me know before I actually do get started, before I switch my scenes here, let me know if I sound way too loud or if the mic is clipping, because for some reason today it's solid red here on my OBS studio. So please let me know in the chat if I sound way too loud or if I need to turn it down just a little bit. All right. And then, we'll get started though. We'll get started. It sounds good. Hello there, Dane. Also, by the way, if you guys are new and you do like these tropical weather outlook and discussion live streams, and also if you're just new, if you haven't been here before and you just like tracking the tropics with me, just enjoy it and have some fun, please subscribe. It really does help out a lot. And also hit that share button and hit that like button. Give that like button a great round of applause if you are enjoying these live discussions. All right, sounds good. Down a little bit. Okay, we'll turn it down just a little bit. There we go. If I sound too quiet, just let me know in the chat. I'll turn it back up just a little bit more. Okay, so what we have going on right now in the tropics, folks, is nothing but goodness, right? It's great. There's nothing substantial, nothing extreme, nothing unusual out there to track in the tropics. However, though, there is going to be some frequent tropical wave activity. I think these tropical waves coming off of Africa are going to be a bit stronger, and I will show you that here on our weather models. We also have Dalila, so actually let's zoom in on that. Yeah, my computer crashed earlier. I literally set this all up a few hours ago, took a quick nap, and then woke back up finding my computer had restarted, and I went into the system incidents menu on the computer and found out my computer crashed on me with a blue screen. Seems to have done that lately, and I'm not sure why it's happening, but I'll try to get that fixed so we don't get any interruption down the road or anything during a more serious live stream. So this is what we have. Nice and quiet out here in the main development region, of course. Nothing unusual. Nice, good, strong Bermuda high out here. Azores high, depending on its actual location. It really won't matter because it's just a big old fat ridge out here in the subtropics. Got some nice, good blue skies there if you are in the Gulf. And also if you are in the Caribbean, looking at some at least fair amount of sunshine, unless you are down here to the south, like the southern portion there of the Caribbean, where you are seeing more showers, more convection, more cloud cover. And then, of course, when we get over here to Dalila. Dalila sounds just interesting, doesn't it? I think there's a song called Dalila. Go look it up on Spotify. So here is Tropical Storm Dalila this afternoon. As we look at this, let's see, is this actually frozen? Come on. Don't be glitchy on me. And it looks like it is down. It looks like we are not getting any. I think Tropical Tidbits, rest in peace is all I'm going to say. It looks like we lost Tropical Tidbits. They have had a lot of issues over the last couple of weeks where their servers just keep crashing. So yeah, I'm not going to close any of these tabs or else we will just lose everything. And actually, that doesn't help either. Man, why is it when I go live, the site goes down? I don't know if it's down for you all. It is not loading. It is not loading at all. Yeah, it's just not responding. And I don't think it's my internet. I don't think it is at all, because I'm getting excellent connection. So it's not my internet problem. It is. Okay, there it is. It's working. And it is just running very slow. Slow poke. That's what it's doing. It's just a slow poke. Okay, so let's go to Tropical Storm Dalila so we can resume with what we need to talk about. And this is what it's looking like right now. Yeah, definitely a strong tropical storm here spinning about out there in the Eastern Pacific. However, not going to last too long. Yeah, Dalila is not going to last for very long because you got stable, cooler marine air, and it's drier out here that is already impinging on the circulation. That's why we are seeing more burstiness to the convection. So I would not even be surprised if this is even less than 65 miles an hour or even 60 as it continues to move off generally in this general direction towards the west-northwest. Although there is a lot of rainfall and some strong tropical storm force winds along the coast there, Mazatlan as well as Puerto Vallarta, Guerrero, those areas. Now let's take a look here at Tropical Tidbits. Now that we kind of finally got past Tropical Storm Dalila's, actually, you know what? Let's go to here really quickly. This is what I forgot to add in. So there is Dalila, 65 mile an hour winds, and it is expected to further weaken as it does make that turn towards the west eventually. So overnight tonight, it is going to actually be moving away from the coast, and there's a lot of distance between where Dalila is going to be in relation to where Cabo San Lucas, Mexico actually is. So there is no concern here whatsoever for any impacts to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico for the foreseeable future. And probably over at least the next 2+ weeks, we're not seeing anything concerning in that area of Mexico. Now, looking at the GFS model, this is where our interesting tropical waves are going to pop out of nowhere. Not just out of nowhere. Should reword that differently, should I? Is actually coming off of Africa. Yeah, we got Africa right all over here. We got Central America down here. We got the Caribbean, the Gulf, the far western portion there of the Atlantic. And we got a nice, good, stout-looking subtropical ridge here to the north. All right, and I did a little bit of messing around with what these numbers actually mean. And these are decameter height lines. So something to kind of learn in this live stream is when you look at heights like this on Tropical Tidbits, you're probably wondering, 160, what does that even mean? Well, that's decameters. You subdue the 0 and you just put the 160, and that's actually 1,000, okay? 1,600 meters. 1,600 meters, not decameters, but 1,000 meters. So, and if you put that into a calculator like this, So let's do this really quickly. And I can't even type today. So meters to feet. So 1,600 meters. That's your level of the atmosphere. So that's 5249 right here where that ridge is. That means you have to go all the way up to 5,000, okay, 249 feet to reach the 850 millibar layer. I know it sounds a little confusing because the 850 millibar layer is not uniform. It's higher up under ridges and it's lower in troughs. So that's why we use maps like this. It's why we have definitive layers of the atmosphere, an absolute 850 millibar layer that we like to use here. And this is the 3-plot system here. Vorticity in orange and red. That's the color shading. And then, of course, you got your strong winds coming in out of the easterly direction that are blowing. Those trade winds are pretty strong, and that is going to allow for more of these tropical waves to at least get a bit more aggressive. Yeah, a bit more aggressive. So over the next 3 days here, nothing to be concerned about in the tropics at all. However, though, see this little guy right here? See that? That's a little bit of a tropical wave. Nothing too substantial with that, but hey, it's a tropical wave. And you know what that means? Means there are tropical waves out there coming off of Africa, but they don't end up developing. And that's because our background state is just not ideal. It's just not favorable. And without a favorable background state, you're just not going to get anything that's going to develop, even so you have these tropical waves, right? Right? Are guys following me? So this is 5 days out. Going forward, that tropical wave approaches right here. Okay, so if we zoom into the Caribbean, you can see there it is, very weak, by no means at all. It's not going to be a problem, although some enhanced rainfall is expected with these tropical waves as they move on by, but no development is expected. That's the first wave, and then here comes the second wave right here on the GFS, less defined. And then we got tropical wave number 3. Actually, the GFS doesn't develop number 3, unlike what I'm about to show you on other models. But it's just giving us an idea that, yep, there are tropical waves out there. It's kind of like looking underneath the favorable or the background state and seeing if these things actually exist, which they actually do. But they just don't develop. Nothing's going to get them started. And let me actually zoom in here with my camera because my face is too small. Got to actually make it a little bit bigger. So this is what we have. Actually, no, that is... Okay, I got that right. So we did look at the GFS model. So this is what the GFS is spitting out over the next 384 hours out. So at least through the end of June, we are not looking at any tropical development. But here's a little bit of a catch. With those tropical waves that are down here, the European model is a bit more aggressive with those tropical waves. So when we look at the Euro, the same plot system, hold on. So the same plot system. Sorry, I'm talking slow tonight. It's probably because I'm really, really tired. And I didn't even realize I'm recording. So you can see there is the first set of tropical waves here on the European model. There is good old Dalila. And then here comes our next system that tries to spin up in the Eastern Pacific that has a medium chance of tropical development. But let's go a little further. Let's go a little further in time over the next 4 days. And there's nothing at all. There is your little Little tropical wave, very weak. Here comes another one, very, very weak. Actually, that's probably not even a tropical wave at all. It's just an area of just showers and thunderstorms. And then look what happens after that. Let's go all the way out in time. See all this vorticity? Just kind of get an overall idea right in here. All those yellows, those orange colors. Yeah, that's spin in the atmosphere. That's this. So that's what we're looking at 850 millibars, 5,000 feet above the surface. And with strong trade winds. Now, some of you are saying that, oh, if we have really strong trade winds, the season's done. It's done. There's not going to be any tropical development. In fact, I did see a couple of comments on other YouTube channels saying that this is not going to be a hurricane season at all. There's not going to be any named storms. This is going to be a complete bust. When in reality, it's only the 14th day of June. All right. And that's because people are saying, oh, the Bermuda high is stronger than it needs to be. And it is. It has been crazy strong for the month of June. But I want you all to understand, okay? And I know I'm doing more talking than actually moving through these models that actually I'm going to bring up a graphic, and that will actually illustrate this a lot more better than me just simply talking. So right here, okay, so last year we didn't have so much of this purple color, and this purple color, this is basically zonal wind anomalies at 850 millibars. So you can picture that the purple colors are stronger easterly wind anomalies. Okay, so the winds are blowing out of the east stronger than they should be. And then the orange and red colors here indicate that there is stronger than normal westerly wind anomalies, or simply there is no trade winds at all. Okay. So it is good to have at least some stronger than normal trade winds to some degree. And why is that? Number one, it is going to allow the intertropical convergence zone from lifting too far north. Okay, so the ITCZ is going to be more orientated, more like this. Okay, this right here. So if you can see this clearly as I do, this is where your intertropical convergence zone is, your monsoonal trough. To the north of that, you get these stronger than normal trade easterly winds. And then down to the south of that, you get your, reductancy in trade winds or some westerly wind bursts or anomalies that do this. So what you end up seeing is a lot of this right here. Spin, relative vorticity, because if you put your hands like this, do this for me. Like you do this, what are you going to create? You're going to get rotors. You're going to get like spin, right? Because parts of the circle want to spin this way, right? So you can kind of see. And then parts of the other side of the circle want to spin down. So that's your vorticity. If you kind of visualize that, that's just how this works. So with stronger trade winds like this, you can get more spin ups. You can get more stronger tropical waves. So your waves can blow up more dust. We get more deep convection. We get more rotation in the atmosphere. And does that actually develop into tropical depressions or storms? Last year, I wish I had a map representing last year. This was very much removed. There was a lot of orange out here, even in higher latitudes. I think there was a lot of orange even all the way up here. All of this was just bathed in orange and red, meaning our trade winds were very weak. Our intertropical convergence zone was way too far to the north. And that is why we did not have any aggressive aggressive tropical waves. Okay. That's why our tropical waves were not able to get established off of Africa. Okay. And if they did, they didn't develop until they got over here. Other than Beryl, okay, Beryl was a different situation because it formed relatively early, but even then, our trade winds were actually weaker than they should be because you should not, for one thing, have a Cat 5 hurricane in early July in the Caribbean. So that tells us that our trade winds were weaker because our system was actually able to gain latitude despite it strengthening. Okay. What you want to see is tropical waves that do try to develop, and these hurricanes or any storm stay very low in latitude. That's where we're at now. Now, once we go into, say, August, do the trade winds remain as strong as they are? Now, right now, it's not bad, but if the trade winds remain very strong where they are at now, then they'll be very, very, very strong. And then we could end up not seeing much in the way of tropical development. But if the trade winds do relax only a little bit due to climatology, that's going to make a very big difference. And in fact, relating to trade winds, and then we'll move on because we're talking about it now. Another paper, another update was made from Michael Lowry. This guy is great. See if I can find him here. Sorry, we're going to have to do some browsing through X to see if we could find that post. Darn it. Darn it. I cannot find it. Michael Lowry. Yeah, I can't find it. I'm not going to spend all day looking for it. But he did make a paper talking about the trade winds, and they have been stronger. In fact, the third most strongest trade winds in the Atlantic for this time of the year. Yeah. It's definitely a thing. But that might just be bad news when you think about, well, bad news in the fact that tropical waves or storms develop. The good news for people that like to track the tropics may actually not be in boredom, because this could actually entice tropical development because your winds are doing this, your trade winds are coming out of this direction. So all you need to do is get the recipe, and man, you get some spin ups here and you get tropical development. Now, I'm not saying that's what is the Euro is trying to show, but we do have to be careful here when we do see all this vorticity energy, very weak in nature, so it's not like it's very strong, but I'm just telling you, this is where our confluent zone actually is here. And boy, if we get anything that develops, it could spin up. That's not what we're seeing right now, though. So for right now, quiet end of June. June will end quiet with not one single named storm. So what does the CMC model show, the Canadian model? Well, let's put this into motion, right? See, there it is right there. There's your tropical wave right there on the Canadian model. Here is more energy coming off of Africa. All right, good old nice ridge out here is going to be in place. And as we put this into motion even further, see, there's energy. Look at all that energy just coming right off of Africa. Okay. I'm not looking for a hurricane here. I'm not looking for a tropical storm. What I'm looking for is the DNA. Yeah, the DNA. Yeah, all of this. There's all that energy, upper or low level spin, that is. And your ridge, look at where your ridge is, too. Your ridge is right here, and you got like 30 to 40 knot trade winds in the low levels to the north of Cabo Verde Islands. So that's what that's going to do is, again, entice that spin. Now, the background state is what everyone's wondering about, right? Is the background state favorable? Is this going to give us any tropical development? And the fortunate answer to that is no. The shear is actually going to remain strong enough to, at least, if anything did get into the Caribbean, it's going to get destroyed because the deep layer vertical wind shear will just tear it apart. And that's what we have here. So this is the European model. And what you're looking at here is that deep layer vertical wind shear. So the red colors do indicate where we have deep layer vertical wind shear greater than 40 to 50 knots. That is very, 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 very strong. Enough to, like, it can tear apart a Cat 5 almost instantaneously if it were ordered to form under a 50 knot wind sheared environment. Or if it had developed and moved into this wall of shear, it would just busted. It just get destroyed. So as we go forward, the shear stays with us through the next 10 days, through the 10-day mark. But look what happens. Look what begins to happen. We start getting easterly vertical wind shear here, and that's because there's not much trade winds. Because we got to understand on how deep layer vertical wind shear actually works here is that if you get westerly winds at the surface and easterly winds aloft, that is going to be a fairly strong deep layer easterly vertical wind shear. But if you get easterly winds at 20 knots at the surface and easterly winds in the upper levels at 30 knots, that's a 10 knot westerly. Wait, hold on. That's actually a 10 knot easterly vertical wind shear because your winds in the upper levels are actually stronger from the easterly direction. So that's basically what it is. So what we have here is deep layer vertical wind shear that is going to be strong for the next couple of weeks. What does the European model show as far as that deep layer vertical wind shear anomaly map? Let's look at the next 5 days. And as we could see here, yeah, deep layer vertical wind shear anomalies. Reds indicate above average shear intensities. Blue colors indicate below average shear intensities. And as we go forward, look at that switch. Look at, you can see the shear actually is normal to below normal all throughout here in portions of the main development region. All we need to do is get rid of this red patch over here in the Caribbean, and any tropical wave that comes off of Africa, there's enough moisture to work with. There's enough rising motion to overtake or to intake that energy. We are going to have a problem. We're going to have a really big problem in the Caribbean if it all sets up the wrong way. So now, let's take a look here at the moisture plot. What is the deep layer moisture plot telling us? So brown colors indicate lots of dry air in the atmosphere, right? So this is really unfavorable. This is poison, okay? Strong deep layer shear combined with lots of dry air is basically a poison to hurricanes. Hurricanes or tropical systems do not like dry air, nor do they like lots of vertical wind shear. Okay. And so what we have here is what? We have what? Lots of dry air coming off of Africa and just more drier air over portions of the Caribbean. So let's put this into motion, right? Look at this. So yes, we do have tropical waves like what we see here. Here's a little bit of a tropical wave, and it looks like got another one coming off of Africa, right? But there's a lot of dry air. That's why it's not going to form. That's why we're not going to see any formation. See? So lots and lots and
lots of dry air
is going to be a thing. And look at all this moisture down here, the turquoise color, south of the Cabo Verde Islands in Africa. That's a lot. There's some turquoise colors indicating that there's enough moisture there for anything to spin up. But of course, background state is pretty stable. So now, another factor in all of this is I wanted to show you guys this. This is actually our Saharan air layer. Let me make sure that actually right. Let me make sure this is framed. There we go. That's now framed a lot more better than it was before. So what we have here is a GO. This is the GOES model, NASA Dust Extinction Aerosol Forecast. And Anything in purple is low to medium amounts of dust. So as we go forward, I'm going to pause. Where's the dust? Where's the dust? Right? We had all that big dust outbreak in early June, late May, and people thought this season's going to actually bust. Some of you probably thought that, but look at this. Not so much. Now all we need to get rid of is the dry air and the deep layer vertical wind shear, and voila, you got problems that arise in the tropical Atlantic. And even so, this is a lot of dust coming off of Africa. That's actually pretty normal to even below average Saharan dust. And you don't even need Saharan dust itself to actually choke off storms. You could simply have lots of dry air, stable and warm, without the dust being present, and it would still choke off storms. That's why we look at relative humidity plots pretty often, even with the dust not being present. So over the next couple of weeks, Saharan dust actually, well, over the next 10 days, that's through the 23rd of June, Saharan dust is looking very light. We're not seeing any mega ballistic dust outbreaks. I'm not seeing that right now because of the southerly flow that's going to impinge underneath, or the westerly flow, and the intertropical convergence zone goes a bit further to the north. Our trade winds, however, in the low levels are going to be stronger than they should be, but that's not really going to contribute to a lot of blowing dust, since we should have enough convection down here to prevent anything, maybe wetting the dirt down a little bit to preventing anything spinning up. Okay, so let's look at our sea surface temperatures. And before we get to that, what's up? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. If you don't mind me calling you a lemon, I can call you a lemon. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I hope your Father's Day is going good. So looking at sea surface temperatures here, yes, they are above or IRA jinxed it, or IRA spoiled you guys. They're definitely warm out there. The Gulf especially, I cannot say it enough. And I'm going to, once we get closer in and zoom in just on the Gulf, I'm going to talk a little bit more what that means. But yes, very warm sea surface temperatures here in the Caribbean and the southwestern Atlantic. We're ready. We're just waiting for the atmosphere, the background state, to kind of come over, make things favorable, and voila, Kujila. We have trouble. All right. And believe me, I'm the first channel that detects these things anyway. So if anything, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, if you have not liked the live stream yet, this is the chance. This is your opportunity, because I see things before anyone else does. Yeah. And no, I'm not trying to use my ego, but I'm using my ego in a little bit of this, okay? Because I've been doing this for a long time. So looking at the coral reef watch, very warm sea surface temperature pattern here. Now, I'm a little concerned about this, not in a bad way that it means more hurricanes, but in a hurtful way to tropical development, because our subtropics are actually a lot warmer than they were last year. So all that upward motion might actually kind of just shape up here a little bit more, and it might lead to stability problems instead. So we might have the favorable wind conditions at the surface, no Saharan dust, but something's off like we saw last year. We'll see if that actually happens. So far, the ITCZ is actually a lot further south than it was last year at this time, and it's even further south than it should be. So far, things are running as planned, but we'll see if that changes once we go into, say, late July or early August. Very warm over here, or rather warmer than average off of Africa. But look at what we have down here, our Atlantic Nina. I am actually very surprised that no one that I could find on YouTube has not talked much about this. I'm really, really surprised. I'm probably the only one that has actually mentioned about the Atlantic Nina. And why is this a thing? Why does it influence our tropics? Because when you have an Atlantic Nina, meaning that means our trade winds are, I'm doing very good, easy. Thank you for asking. Our trade winds are stronger than they should be. That's the first reasoning. And secondly, it leads to a northern or a northern shift with the ITCZ, Intertropical Convergence Zone. And that's what got us into a lot of problems with performance in terms of our tropics. That's why our hyperactive season never ended up verifying. It did in some degree because we had Beryl early on in the season, and then we had Milton, which was a Cat 5 hurricane. We still had a lot of landfalls nonetheless. It was an active season in that part, but as far as the name of storms and the ACE producing, it just did not live up to its hype at all. It did end up being above average, but I mean, we were predicting, some agencies were spitting out 300 ACE points, 350 ACE points last year, and 35 named storms. I think the University of Pennsylvania spitted out like 35 named storms in their forecast, one of their forecasts last year, and it did not verify, all because of where the ITCZ was. And also, it was orientated like this. You don't want to see a ITCZ like that, because what you end up seeing is you end up getting like winds that do this more, okay, and then they kind of come out like this. So you're not able to consolidate anything. And that's also why I think there was problems. But on the side note, sea surface temperature patterns are very warm, especially in the Caribbean and in the Gulf, that's for sure, and the far western Atlantic. The subtropics, very warm. I don't see why we don't have a slightly above average season, in my opinion. And I will release in this live stream, I will give you guys my take on how many named storms I am predicting. And you guys can say, oh, David's under hyping this or whatever, okay? Because there is some concern here, stability problems that are going to probably get involved. Yes, we will still see at least a hurricane or two, but I don't think it's going to be as busy as what some people are saying. Okay, so let's zoom this out, because I did want to talk about the Gulf, because some of you are saying on how warm the Gulf actually is, and this is quite concerning, and I understand why you're concerned about how warm the Gulf is, because this whole area right in here is running about 84 to 86 degrees in Fahrenheit, about 84, 85 degrees in Fahrenheit. That's really, really, actually it's 85 because it's 30 Celsius. So it's 85 to almost 86 Fahrenheit. Over here, forget about it. You're at 87 to 88 degrees in Fahrenheit over the Bay of Youth. That has re-warmed up a little bit. Even our shelf waters here along Florida have warmed up. And so with that being said here, the Gulf, now the warmer the Gulf gets, it doesn't increase the chances for a strong tropical cyclone by all means. For the people, all of you, yes, I'm looking at your guys' chats here. For all of you that are watching this stream, I want you to take this in very kindly and very seriously, okay? The warmer the Gulf gets, it does not mean you're going to get more named storms moving through it. It doesn't mean that you're going to get more major hurricanes, right? Well, yes and no on that. What this means is that if we get, I want to be very clear here, if we get a tropical storm, any little disturbance, look at Milton. I want you all to picture Milton, because Milton was a great example of this. Okay, follow me here. Okay, and so it only takes that kind of a disturbance with very warm sea surface temperatures, and it increases your chances of rapid intensification, explosive intensification. That's what these sea surface temperatures tell us. The warmer things get in the Gulf or the Caribbean, the more heat energy is being stored. If it gets released in with any tropical storm, it could go absolutely psycho. It could go gangbuster psycho, like we saw with Milton. I cannot say it again. Milton was a great example of, yes, why did Milton intensify so fast? Well, because it moved over 30 degrees, it moved over 84 to 86 Fahrenheit waters. And while that doesn't seem like a whole lot when you think about it, because you need 80 degrees, 79 to 80 Fahrenheit to at least maintain a tropical cyclone, such as a hurricane. So 6 degrees warmer or in the threshold doesn't seem like a lot, but that is a lot. That is definitely, when you put it in a big area, it does make a difference. So looking at the sea surface temperature anomalies in the Gulf, yeah, we're running almost 2 degrees above average in the loop current. The whole Gulf is just running above average. And how I see this as in, it doesn't matter if the Gulf is running 1/10 of a degree above average or 2 degrees above average or 3 degrees above average. What matters most is the Gulf is running warmer than it needs to be. Okay. And so once this, if it maintains like this all the way through August and September, then we're in the books of like 32, almost 33 Celsius. That's like uppermost 80s. That's like 88 to 91 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. Now you can see why I'd be a little concerned, a little scared, not scared, but like any disturbance. I mean, tropical depression or even a little bit of a tropical wave, it moves very slowly. We get bursting convection. I mean, it only takes one. It really does. Okay. And Milton is a great example. I'm not trying to say I love Milton here, but Milton is like, we all are looking back at Milton. Why did it rapidly intensify? Like, what caused a hurricane to intensify so fast from a tropical storm one day to a Cat 5 the next in under 24 hours? And so we're looking at upper ocean heat content and other things. So when I say this in my videos, because I like to be brief, I like to kind of, and I'm going to ask you guys that question here towards the end of the stream, is this does not form, this is not a powerhouse to form hurricanes. It doesn't up your risk that, okay, if I am in this area, I have a 50% chance higher risk of getting a Cat 5 hurricane or seeing more hurricanes forming in the Gulf. No. It doesn't happen very often when you get something that forms in the Gulf. It usually originates out here in the Caribbean. But what I'm saying is, when it moves over these very warm sea surface temperatures, the ceilings on these tropical waves are much higher. They could explosively intensify without warning. I mean, gosh, Milton was only going to be a high-end tropical storm, a low-grade hurricane? Yeah. But wait a second. It was a Cat 5 instead. That's why we really, I'm concerned. I am concerned about how warm the Gulf is. So upper ocean heat content in the Gulf is just, I mean, come on. I mean, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Okay, this is actually, yeah, this is heat potential anomalies. I think it's pretty similar to the upper ocean heat content. And look at this, all this red here. The Gulf, man, I'm telling you, it's just, it's a waiting game. It's just, we're sitting in a drive-thru waiting to get our food. And I'll tell you, let's hope we don't get our food, because if we get our food, that means we have big trouble. Okay, in the Caribbean, here with upper ocean heat content actual numbers here, yeah, there's some reds. That is 130 to 140 already. So Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, you're just not feeling hot at the surface, but also deep down in the oceans, it is warmer than it needs to be. More than warm enough to really get, I mean, and that's why I brought my image back. I mean, upper ocean heat content, the sea surface temperatures right now, and I'm not here to scare you all to cause fear mongering. And I shared this with Ethan, and he was like, "Whoa, David, are you being dead serious here? Are you is that real?" Okay. Based on where are we at with sea surface temperatures in the Caribbean and the Gulf, those waters get only warmer, so about 31 to 33 Celsius. Upper ocean heat content that peaks at around 140 to 160 units, which you don't want that. You don't want that. That's very, very high. And so let's go back to here. Let me actually take off my face at this point, because I'm sure you guys don't want to look at my big face. But yeah, I guess I'll just bring back my face, whatever. Is that, I mean, if we get the right conditions, I mean, these oceans could support 185, 195 mile an hour hurricane. And you guys are looking at me like, yo, David, bruh, that's not, no, you're hyping things up. No, because you have to look at upper ocean heat content. You have to look at sea surface temperatures, and you have to kind of like literally, you have to, what is the word that I'm looking for? What am I looking for here? See, my brain's not working 100% today because I've only gotten 1 hour of sleep last night. Is that when you combine all that, you calculate it and you extrapolate it, the maximum climax with these storms are very, very, very intense. At least on the echelon of Milton. At least on the echelon of Milton. Okay, doesn't mean we will see a Milton-like hurricane this year, but the potential, okay, the maximum climax for systems like that in the Gulf, in the Caribbean, are utterly high. Okay, so now sea surface temperatures are done, out of the way. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's only been 47 minutes, so I'm actually I'm not rambling too much. I hope I'm not rambling. If I am, I'll give myself a little slap, right? So the velocity potential, I'm going to go through this rather quickly, not too fast, but not too slow, is that these green colors are upward velocities. So there's velocity potential. Is there upward motion? Is there sinking motion? And this affects our tropical waves that come off of Africa. So we can see right now we're in a favorable, semi-favorable. I wouldn't say 100% favorable, but it is semi-favorable. And then over here, we're going to be in a sinking motion phase. Now, I find this interesting that the European model, like I showed you with all the velocity or the vorticity, there's actually more aggressive tropical wave activity. And that's because this can sometimes lag behind. So all the favorable environment might actually end up being over in here, okay, in this part of the spectrum. So perhaps through the middle part of June, we still need to watch, and then more upward motion continues thereafter. Kind of goes back and forth. Okay, and then, and I forgot to show you all this. That's what I was missing. So this gives us another context where we're at. So MJO here in the green, that's what we have. Okay. And by the way, the greens don't always mean the MJO. That's just their velocity potential. But when you tap that onto an MJO, that is why we saw Cosme. That's why we saw, what is that, Dalila? We saw, what is that letter? Is that a letter H? Doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess A. So we had Elvin, we had Cosme, and then we had Dalila. So we had 4 named storms so far in the Eastern Pacific, all because of this MJO. And that can combined with a convective coupled Kelvin wave, that isn't going to really make it in the Atlantic as far as it looks right now, and the forecast does call for that. But here's a little catch. Here's another convective coupled Kelvin wave that's going to be spinning or rotating through the Atlantic by the end of June into early July. So that is going to be something that interests me to see if we do get anything that comes off of Africa that develops. See, folks, do you follow me? It's not just models we look at. We're not just looking at a 2-week forecast. We're looking very far out in time. And this is even further out in time. So lots of potential upward motion here, sinking motion here, more rising motion. There is your convective coupled Kelvin wave, perhaps CCKW, that moves over, and then more sinking motion, and then more rising motion. So it's an alternation here. But I would probably place my bets on this. I would say more likely in July, we will see at least one named storm. 1 or 2 named storms is what I'm thinking before more sinking motion takes place. Well, that's if it does in very late July. Use this map with caution because this changes the further out in time you go. This can go... It can just go a full 180. It goes back and forth, back and forth. And a forecast is not a guarantee beyond about 5 or 6 days out. And that leads me to this. Yeah, you probably don't even know what I'm looking at until you actually guys guess. We are actually looking at the Google Weather Lab. Okay, this was released. Google actually released their AI model to the public here to where we could look at historical tropical storms or hurricanes. And I'll tell you, it has done quite well over the last couple of years when it was being studied on before it was released to the public. And so it is accurate enough, and it actually does beat out the European ensemble forecast. So the question really remains, will this help us better forecast tropical systems? In my belief, I think it is. I think this is a tool that a lot of forecasters are going to be using. And you can see when you overlay things, you can actually you can do a lot. You really can. You can see different ensembles. So like the European high res, that's in yellow, the European ensemble. This is on Dalila, by the way. The weather next graph is one. And then here's another one. So there's different models here. You can plot and you can uncheck all of these to show lesser plots. Or you can check one of them and see what that cone is looking like. So here's the cone. Range of possible outcomes here on the Google model on Dalila. Here's the next gen model, and then here's the Weather Next model. This does not have a cone for some reason. The ensemble from the Euro has one, and then of course the high res doesn't. So this is really cool. This is a really cool tool to show you all. And if you guys want to view this, just let me know. I'll link it here in the live stream. Man, what is going on with chat? So do you guys have any questions? Any questions? I do have a few questions that I do want to ask you all because I just don't want to ignore my audience. Come on, folks. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. I do have a question. While you're probably thinking of a question, probably will change this. So this will get you to answer. Do you guys think I should make shorter videos or longer videos? Because I have noticed... because I noticed if I make my videos shorter, my retention score is not any better. So I'm trying to figure out a balance here. I don't want my videos too long. You know, it's like, unless there's something very, very big and serious, and maybe I'll make my videos a little longer, but I do not intend going more than at least 20 minutes. Come on, don't be shy. Sorry if I made you guys tune out. I am so sorry. Can you show us the maximum wind potential for hurricanes? I can't really show you that, but I can tell you the maximum theoretical wind potential with hurricanes is Patricia. Patricia was a violent hurricane with over 220 mile an hour winds. And what is going on with all the spamming? You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. You're hidden. You all are hidden. Hide all these users. Goodbye. Nice tuning in. It was nice knowing you. Yeah, Brittany, I don't know if you're able to hide them. Any people that spam like that, just hide them. Just hide their channel. Don't even question them. Just like hide them. If you can't, then I will do it. You like the 20-minute videos, Chizard? Okay, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense for sure. By the way, if you do like these tropical weather live stream updates, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Because I love you guys. I really do. And man, oh man, I keep on saying it over and over and over again. I cannot wait to go live when it comes to a hurricane. Now, that's not why I'm live streaming, just because I couldn't get a video out today. I could not get a video out. I just did not have time. So that's what that was all about. So you actually prefer live streams? Well, the live streams are going to be there for sure, but just not as frequently right now, just because I don't want to live stream every single day. I want to balance my content out for you all. Some live streams, some video updates and stuff. I will do at least 1 or 2 of these a week. So Saturdays, the chances are a bit higher for that, just because I don't have time to make a video during the day. I'm not home usually until like 4 o'clock because I get up very early for work. So that's the only exception there. And yeah, don't worry. You guys will probably get tired of me live streaming. Will more than likely get tired of that because I'll be doing a lot of it once the peak of hurricane season comes. And once we have a lot to track out there, look at Beryl. I did like 5 live streams in a row. This year is going to be different though. This year, I am going to be doing... So how it's going to work is when there's a Cat 4 or a major hurricane or any kind of magnitude of a hurricane out there, or even a tropical storm, I will do a morning video that's released like at 3 or 4 in the morning, like I did this last January. You know how that went, right? And then following that in the afternoon, I do a live stream discussion. Because again, I want to get that balance. So yeah, the reason why I asked you all briefly on about my about how long should my videos be, I was doing some experimenting, and it seems like the shorter videos are not performing any better in terms of retention versus the longer videos. So this is what I'm trying to resolve right here, is this quick fall in my retention score. I don't know what I'm doing. That was a good intro. I felt like that intro was really good. But I think it's maybe there isn't anything big going on out there, so you guys just click away off the video, which is fine, but it does hurt the YouTube channel's performance in the long run, you know? And at the end of the day, we're here to give you guys the weather information. Well, yeah, what's up, Brittany? Brittany Spears? No, I'm just kidding. You're not Brittany Spears. Actually, yeah, you are Brittany Spears. No, I'm just kidding. You're not. But what's up, Brittany Parker? What's up, Beth Cave Spider 2? How are you doing? How is your Father's Day coming along? How is it? Oh, not much, Goofy. Oh, I'll show you Goofy.
Now I sound way too goofy. Do I now? Now you guys are all going to laugh at me and probably share this with your family and friends on social media. By the way, I'm not a chipmunk, but if you do want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can go ahead and do that. Yeah, I think a lot of you are going to subscribe after hearing that.
Man, I love my toy. I love ya, Rodecaster Pro 2. You make life a lot easier for me. Yeah, it's Alvin. But
also, this is not Alvin. I don't sound like Alvin here. I sound like a monster, do I? I sound like a angry...
You're a meteorologist, correct? I feel like every time I say I don't prefer to say my status on that. I'm not. But it really doesn't matter if I am or am not a meteorologist. What matters most is I know my stuff. I do. And honestly, that really disturbs me that, like, people will trust meteorologists more than people that are just weather enthusiasts, because, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. I mean, I've been doing this, okay, at least I've been studying, looking over models since I was like, really got into the thick of it when I was 10 years old. Okay, so I'm self-taught over the last 19 years. Yeah, I'm being serious, folks. I'm being serious. 19 years. But I didn't get interested in weather until I was 6. 6 years old. I was a little bit interested in the weather enough to where I liked it when it rains. I liked when it was windy, kind of thing. But I didn't really grasp onto my first numerical model until I was about 10 years old, until 2005, when Weather Underground had their numerical models on there. I remember those old days. I won't miss those. Those old days were really, really wild. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, Lewis. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, let me just make it clear here. The only reason why, and this is my honest opinion, you guys can go off on me and be like, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo, or whatever. The only reason why people want to become a meteorologist is to get that certification that, oh, I'm a meteorologist. I got this certificate saying that I'm a licensed meteorologist. I am an AMS degree. Okay. And people see that. I'm like, I'm trusting this guy more than anyone else that's just a weather enthusiast, because this person actually has a certificate. You know what I mean? But honestly, I want to speak from the heart and truth on this, okay? You can be a weather enthusiast and know your stuff just as well as a meteorologist does. I mean, I don't know the math side of it as much as some other people do, but that's more of the advanced stuff. You're not going to share what does this mean on a stream or what does this mean, right? You're going to be more basic because people's brains get twisted. Like, I want to know the basics. I want to just know for my area. Because guess what, folks? I can make a 50-minute long video explaining every little detail, and you're like, oh, can you go on, please? Can you move on instead of just saying one little every little detail? So that's why I'm going to be broad. It might sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. That's just because I want to dive in, talk about what I need to talk about, and get that information out to you all as quick as possible, right? I mean, you got to think about that. You know, like, what would you rather watch a video that's 60 minutes long that covers as much detail as possible, or a 15-minute to 25-minute video that just kind of covers, like, okay, I know what this is in my area. Does it hit my area? Right? Or does this area over here come across and hit my area? Right? I want to know that. I don't want to know the exact calculation behind this. Thank you, Mr. Storm. A lot of people will not, I'm not saying everyone in the weather community, but people will not have their desire of saying, I don't want to know, I don't want to share with you all if I'm a meteorologist or not. I'm actually comfortable at telling you all that I am not a meteorologist. I am a weather enthusiast, but if you think about the different metals or the different levels, I'm like at a level 5, like a level 4.5 out of 5. So 5 being the most advanced weather enthusiast, 0 being the least. I mean, you are a weather enthusiast and you're at a 0. Might want to start studying. Gosh, you know, my friend Ethan B, that's on my live streams, he's not a meteorologist. He has like a binder. I've seen his binder. It's like this big. This big. His binder is like this big and has like thousands of different pages of what he has written in the past and has studied. That right there is a serious weather enthusiast. But, you know, I just want to make it clear with you all. I don't want you guys to lose trust with me and just to be like, I'm not watching this channel now just because David's a weather enthusiast. I don't want you guys to feel that way, all right? Okay? Please, please, please. Because if it does cause a issue to the channel, then I just will keep that out of my live streams or videos, you know? And I like to be transparent with you all. I like to be honest. I like to talk from the heart, you know? I love your channel. I appreciate all that you do and help keep us informed and or safe and informed. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that, Anita. I do appreciate that very much. And I want to actually give you a secret about the weather community. Did you know this? You guys never knew this, did you guys? Okay. 95% of what my belief is in the weather community is just weather enthusiasts. Okay. I don't want to point fingers at different YouTubers. I'm not here to do that. But I'll tell you what, not everyone on YouTube that does weather updates is a certified meteorologist. That's just the world that we live in, right? And if I remember correctly, I used to watch my local weatherman long time ago when I was like 5 or 6 years old. His name was James Fletcher. Yeah, James Fletcher. He would report the weather in the morning. Yeah, he would literally point at a screen, a green screen, and be like, oh, this is what our weather is going to be. But you know what? He actually was good at I don't if I remember correctly, yeah, he was actually not a meteorologist. He was actually a weather enthusiast that he felt interested in that. I want to point at a screen. I mean, I can go to a news station in a month from now and be like, I want to do the weather for you guys. And they would probably hire me right away because I'm good at what I do. The bread is in the pudding. Yep. Thank you so much, Weather Boy. Your videos are Weather Boy approved. That's what I like to hear. My live streams are audience approved, or the Kiefer, the Storm, Brittany Parker approved. Yeah, Brittany Parker is on a is on a computer, and she scans my videos and no, I'm just kidding. She scans my videos and she's like, okay, I will approve this video. You can make it public. No, I'm just kidding. But I will be honest, you have to trust the NWS. Please trust them because they are far more advanced than a TV station meteorologist themselves. I did not want to go too far on that, but like SPC, National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service, any form of government agency, okay, ran by NOAA, National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, they are like the top notch. They are the top notch people. They are the go-to people for these kind of things. I'm here to iterate. It's kind of like putting on like a magnifying glass, right? Putting on your glasses. NWS are the eyeballs. NOAA is the eyeballs. Hitting the glasses, the frame, the glass, so you can see better. And those glasses at the lens is me iterating that out to you all. Okay. I extrapolate the data. I kind of unpack it and then shoot it off to you guys. I've heard about the WeatherWise. A lot of people are starting to use that. And you guys would not believe what my maiden YouTube channel name is. Guess what it is? Guess what it is? You guys will laugh at me. You guys will literally laugh as hard as you can. Guess what my YouTube channel name, maiden, it's not here though, but my maiden channel name. Yeah, this is WeatherWise though. This is what we're seeing. You have a great YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Well, that's because I have 42,430 subscribers. Actually, let's see if I'm right. I might have more than that right now at this point. Hey, if you guys want to hit the subscribe button, hit it as hard as you can. Oh, we're still at 42,426. Oh, thank you, Tyler. Thank you so much. And that's why I have to be unique. Maybe I'm not going to do much editing. But yeah, I want to hear your guys' opinion. What would you prefer? Shorter videos or longer videos? Also, it is in the early works now. There is a proposal, and I want to just kind of be transparent with you all on this. This is not going to happen until next year, so you don't need to worry. You don't need to like freak out like, oh, what's going on for next year? I might be switching my upload schedule. It's being proposed for January. I'm going to have a couple of polls on that down the road to see if that is. It would probably work better with my schedule since I am a bit more busier now during the day than I was like 4 or 5 years ago. And so that's being proposed way down the road, like in January, maybe in February of 2026. And the proposal would be to upload videos at 4 in the morning every day, 3 or 4 in the morning, instead of like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So 12 hours sooner. But yeah, nonetheless, big, nice, good old ridge out here. Bermuda high, nice and strong. Because you know what I've noticed is in my analytics, okay, and of course, that's the whole point of doing YouTube, right? You have to look at your analytics and adjust your production. Not really here. I can't really show it, but let me show it here. This gives me a good idea. So on this video, I've noticed with all of my videos recently, it drops off overnight because people are asleep. And then I get this huge climb in the early morning hours, which tells me that more people, the demand for watching morning videos are higher, which makes sense. That's why other YouTubers are doing that. They're uploading early in the morning. So if I got myself out in there to upload at like 3 or 4 in the morning, that would also help with you guys a lot, make it more convenient. But again, that's a proposal. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, so don't panic. It's in the talks basically right now. When are we expecting Andrea? Yeah. Israel 709. Man, I need my glasses. I literally ordered the glasses almost 3 weeks ago and they still have not come. Yeah, I went to the eye doctor, so I had my eyes checked. My vision's not very good. I'm very much nearsighted, so things that are far away are quite blurry. I mean, like, I have to look really far away to take note of that. Probably because I'm always on the computer. What time that you have mentioned it's in Pacific time. So if I do the morning uploads, they would be at 3 or 4 in the morning Pacific Daylight Time, well, standard time in the wintertime, daylight time in the summertime, so daylight saving, okay? And then reserve the afternoon videos for big events, very serious events. But it would probably be a pilot program that I would probably sign and everything, which means a pilot program means it's a trial for at least 3 months. And comparing that data to afternoon videos. And if I'm getting more people that are watching longer, the click-through rate, the impressions, and people are watching longer, that's what YouTube likes a lot, then maybe doing morning videos are the way to go. Yeah, I have astigmatism as well. That's what my eye doctor said. I don't know which eye it was in that he said, but I have astigmatism. It's not super bad. My vision's blurry. I could read everything on the screen here, but with the chats, I have to kind of look a little closer and read that correctly. Kind of like that. Oh, it's bad in both. What is your vision? What's your acuity? Is it like 2040, 2060, 2080, 2100, 2016? Like, what's your vision, Brittany? Are you farsighted or nearsighted? You're probably farsighted like me. A lot of people end up being farsighted. I got me some bifocals. Oh, okay. What's up, Diana Reed? How are you doing? Welcome. Welcome. We're at 1 hour and 20 minutes, so probably we'll do some hanging out here for a little while, answering your guys' questions. Valdosta, Georgia. Oh, nice. I am farsighted. I think I'm 2050. Dang, you're only slightly worse than me by just a little bit. I'm 2040. And the eye doctor was really surprised because he knew this whole time that I've been looking at computers too close for a long time. Since I at least started YouTube back in 2017. What's up, Spunky or Banky? How are you doing? What's up, William? How are you doing? I think longer videos of at least, I'll just add some words here in your chat or in your comment, William. I think longer content with at least 20-minute videos are pretty amazing, considering you are the best weatherman out there, and you definitely know your stuff, and I admire you for that. You are a lot better than blank. I'm not going to say the name. I am very, 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 very neutral, so I'm not going to say their name, but you know the name. You know, I know who that person is. I know who that person is. But again, I don't want to be like, I don't want to be calling out people, you know. Yeah, so I think I'm going to go back to the longer vids. Based on the retention score, it just did not help. It just it just did not help at all. Which is disappointing because I thought shorter videos would actually help a little bit more. They actually hurt my performance. So yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. However, though, one of my shorter videos here that I did a couple of days ago has got me almost 9,000 views, and I'm still getting quite a bit of people still clicking on that video. Still getting a click-through rate of like 12%. That's probably because I put a not good. That's at the time when we were seeing something. But like this is like, man, a lot of people are like tuning out in the first 35 seconds. I don't know what I'm doing in the video, but that's probably because I did have a mixed audience there. And actually, I can see here clearly. You guys want to see my analytics? I know they're kind of boring, but I could actually see new viewers are not watching as long. That's to be expected versus returning viewers are actually watching a lot longer. And that's what I like to see. And then I can go down here and be like, okay, returning viewers are watching a lot longer. Most importantly, the subscribers are watching 3 minutes and 21 seconds on average. Which means you, the people that are subscribed are actually enjoying my content. And another thing I don't understand is why the Saharan dust continues to hang around in the Atlantic, keeping things from forming. Drives me crazy because I enjoy seeing tropical storms form. To be honest, I like the formative stage of tropical storms. I just don't like when they hit land. That's the bad thing about tropical systems. But yeah, Saharan dust, it's just the way the Atlantic is orientated. If we go and look at the satellite again here, I could actually show something this time. It's just the way, you know, Sahara is very dry. It's a very large desert in northern Africa. And when you get all of this, actually, you know what? I got a model that you guys are going to like. And actually, it iterates this quite well. Let's go over here and go to the European, and then let's go over to the Middle East, because this is what I like to show sometimes. Where is Africa? Okay, here's Africa. Oh, we need a continent. Okay, that's what we were looking for. Doesn't give us Northern Africa, though. It just gives us a whole country. So if we actually look at our dew point here, you can see how the air dries out during the day because it's mixing out. So this is the real dry area of Africa. And so when you get this northeasterly flow, you're picking up dust and it's hot. I mean, temperatures here can reach 120, 125 degrees. And then down here is where all the moisture is. And so that is what makes the Atlantic very unique when it comes to tropical formation, because you have all this drier air, then you have all this moisture, and sometimes the drier air wins out over the moist air, and the ending result is you don't get tropical formation. It just doesn't happen. What's up, Doug? What's up, Foxy? That's why things are not favorable until they are, usually not until August, because that's when the Saharan dust backs off usually. The deep layer vertical wind shear is at its lightest. Thermally driven is most favorable as well. At second half of August, I'm telling you. So don't, William, don't freak out when there's nothing going on out there in the tropics. This is very normal. What was not normal is seeing 4 or 5 named storms in June. Well, actually, was it like 4 or 5 something named storms in 2020 in June? We all remember how active that season was. And so that was a very, very rare hurricane season. This is actually normal. This is how it's supposed to be. Sometimes we don't get anything in June, and sometimes we get 2 or 3 named storms in June, and sometimes we get 4 or 5 named storms in June. But also what I like to look at too is the ITCZ. So if we go to the ITCZ, this is what I like to look at. And I do show this many times in my videos, which is why you guys like me a lot more than a lot of other YouTubers, because I show stuff that people don't actually end up looking at, because this is the backbone of the tropics. This is like the production. This is like where the stage is, right? This gives us an idea on when things do generally get favorable. And right now, the intertropical convergence zone is slightly south than where it should be this time of the year. And that might seem like a small distance, but that is over a couple of 100 miles. That is a big deal. It's like, wow, 200 miles to the south than it should be. I mean, last year at this time, it was something like, it was like right over here. It was a little bit to the north than it should have been. So it is still south than where it should be this time of the year. Okay. And you can look at this current 10-day ITF position and then previous days. And the normal is that black line. And then what we could also look at here is the graph. Is that intertropical convergence zone over Western Africa where it should be? And we are only slightly south than it should be for this time of the year. And you can look at the date, the month, so to speak. And this looks like the first full week of June. So every 10 days, this updates. And we see that, okay, if the red line is south of the black area, okay, that's way up here, the ITCZ is technically further south than it actually should be. But if we actually look at the eastern side, okay, the western part of the intertropical convergence zone was what was not the big culprit behind last year's wonky early September, late August. It was actually the eastern portion of the intertropical convergence zone. This is running a lot further south than it should be this time of the year, nearly almost 2 degrees to the south. That's like 300 or 400 miles to the south than it should be this time of the year. That is a big deal. That doesn't seem like much, but I mean, if it keeps up like this, I mean, we could have, I mean, look where it ends up being. It's further south than it should be. And that means Northern Africa is going to end up drier. And that actually might just help things out for this hurricane season. It's just a matter of stability problems, the thermo-driven stability issues in the subtropics of the Atlantic with the sea surface temperature configuration that we are starting to see. Now, at least in some sense, up here is actually running a bit cooler than it should be for this time of the year. And so all the upward motion is going to really be focused here. And so it's a matter of, will we get anything? And I think we will. I think we will. It's just, I don't think it's going to be as busy as what some agencies are saying to an extent. I have been a major hurricane fanatic since the age of 10, and I enjoy them. Obviously, not the destruction, but the forces a hurricane generates is astounding. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The thing I like about hurricanes is when recon goes out in there, and what actually, let me reword this. What is amazing, and I'm talking to you guys here, is not because I watch hurricanes develop. That's not why I like the tropics, but I mean, I like to show you guys data that no one has access to, and I kid you not. I kid you freaking not. And yes, I'm literally using my ego in this. My ego is very strong. Let's see if I can find it. Is this, my guys? You know what this is? You guys want to know what this is? This is actually. Hold on. I know it's a white screen. Yeah, let me actually window this so you guys could actually see what I'm looking at. This is a company. This is a YouTube. No one uses this, so it's public. It's public, but it is so detailed. So we are looking at. I guess this is it, man. Only if they can name these. Okay, yeah. Here's Milton. I mean, this is so detailed that not many YouTubers, actually no YouTubers use this at all. No one uses this. Someone's yet to find the link to this. And do you guys hear me? Are you guys listening? Like, this is like raw hurricane data from Milton last year. Like, this is, you could see exactly how strong it actually is. It's freaking sick, bros. It's like look at what it looked like. 3 kilometers up, you can get different wind elevations. I mean, it's pretty stinking. Oops. Oh, and I lost it. Where did it? Oh, no, here it is. I mean, it's pretty cool. And guess what? That is what I'm going to be using in this year's hurricane season. I am going to be using this in a lot of my tropical videos and live streams. Believe it or not, ready or not, here I come. I am going to be using a lot of this. And look at the detail that you can get off of this. You can literally see what the hurricane looks like inside from tail Doppler radar missions. That is why I am so freaking excited. That is why I am just hyped up for the hurricane season. Because once I track something, there is going to be a lot of critical information that I share with you all. There is going to be a lot of critical information. Oh, I know, right? Beth Cave Spider 2, I know, right? We were all looking at there's not going to be a sub 900 millibar hurricane. Well, unfortunately, that ended up happening. Yeah, the ITCZ also reaches most north later on. Yeah, usually like let's see. So it's furthest north in late August. Oh, wait, no. In mid-August, it's usually furthest north. All right. You know what? I'm afraid if I give you guys this link, it's going to be leaked. It's public. I promise that I'm not hiding something. I don't want other YouTube channels to establish it. And it's like, fine, I'll give you guys a link. Heck with it. Heck with it. I will be nice. I will be nice because I can get maybe in some trouble if I hide stuff like this. This is linked to it, but whatever is in this chat stays in this chat. Pinky promise, folks. Pinky promise. Let me see it. Pinky promise. Pinky promise. Because if you share it to like other big YouTubers like Ryan Hall, y'all, Max Velocity, Evan Freiberger, who else is out there that's big? Like any other big YouTube channel, they're going to start using this and they're going to be like, bro, you know. So that's the link to it right there. That's the link to the where you can get the index of tail Doppler radar missions all the way going back to 2014 and all the way to 2025. That's this year, so they already have it ready. And this is the surface wind demo, it looks like. And this was with Sam. And so you can get like what are the actual surface winds with Sam. Just you can look at a lot of data. Now you really have to like look at the right archive though, because like you see all of this and be like, what am I supposed to click on? So how to read this is, let's zoom closer, and this is the most I can zoom in. So this right here, I'm going to box this in black. So this is your year. So 2024, this is the day of the month. So this would be, let me make sure that doesn't disappear on me so I can keep this all boxed in. So the month of the year, 2024, okay, the day of the month. So the first day of, it appears, wait, hold on. Oh no, this is the 12th day. What? I'm even like what is this supposed to even mean? So 2024, okay, this is a lot better. Maybe that was a little bit of a typo of some sort. So the year here, 2024, then this would be August the 2nd. So because 08 is the month number, so 8 as in August, the day of the month, that's the 2nd, and then the year. So it goes month, day, year, month, day, year, month, day, year. Okay. And then the H1, I have yet to figure out. I think it's just like labeling it Hurricane 1 is what that means. And then you can go over to your composites, centers, your swaths, your tilt. You can even look at the tilt. This is a training mission, by the way. So this is not an actual like flying into a hurricane by any means, but it's just a training mission because it will say train on it, letting you know it's a training mission. You would have to go deeper down and look for, I mean, this takes a lot of time to look through and use archives and stuff, but it is really, it's really good. It's, yeah. No, it's not the year, month, day. Or you know what? I think I looked at that wrong. Thanks for correcting me. Was this a training? If it was a training mission, then it might have been. I think it was. Okay, it was. So this could have been. It's 2024 January. See, yeah, it's confusing. You really have to know what you're looking at here. So I think that was the beginning of the year. Never mind. Good eye. Good eye. So, okay, so it goes year, month, day. Okay. Now that I know that. I thought it went month, day, year, like it just kind of flopped. But that's what I am using in my tropical videos. And I would highly suggest to keep it here in the YouTube channel, like doesn't get shared outside. But I know you guys will probably do it anyways because you have that, what is it called? You have that itchy feeling that, oh, I just got to share this with my friends. But the problem is those friends will share it with their friends and those friends will it just kind of gets to be a snowball effect. But I found it first, so I have like the seniority and credibility over it. What's up, Luca? What's up, Sean? How are you guys doing? Oh my gosh, it's 20 minutes to the 2-hour mark here, and I need to eat. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you. Because again, it's unique to the channel. It really is. Because when I do my tropical weather updates on a named storm, you know, I don't know. Maybe you guys know more than me. I don't think any other YouTubers share it. I don't think no one has found the link yet. Funny enough, it's public, but no one has found the link. No one has actually found the link. It's the craziest thing. It's just I'm sure it's public. I hope it is. Cuz man, if it's not, then I just blew my circuit on that one. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys a PowerPoint here of what I will be using. This is not accurate, but it does give us context on what. Let's see. Let's go to over here. Swap. There we go. That's what I wanted. So. Oh, shoot. And I just breezed through it. Okay. So you know what? This is fine. So basically, this is how it would run down. And actually, this still applies. Oh, no, this is from the National Hurricane Center. So David's proposed upload schedule, if only one per day, is 2 p.m. And then if I do 2 per day, this would be like 4 in the morning on something big. And then 7, and then like whatever, 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, if there's a named storm, and then so on and so forth. The maximum potential I could upload is 3 videos a day if I just dedicate my time and I focus. You're a pioneer in the weather industry. Yeah, I am. I always think of myself like a weather model. But yeah, I am excited because I'm excited for you guys to come here and watch my live streams on when something big actually happens. And I didn't really mention this much in my videos, but we are going to be going live this year. It's being tested, and Easy is with me on this. We are going to try to do a 24-hour plus live stream before a hurricane makes landfall. So how that's going to work, let me just do WeatherWise map, because WeatherWise is truly WeatherWise. Like if there's a hurricane out here, you know, and it's going to curve out over here or go kind of like this, or it kind of goes straight in, and let's just say it's 24 hours away from making landfall, That's when we would kick our live stream up. Have live cameras. 30 live cameras is what I'm attempting to do. 30 webcams, 30 different cameras in 30 different locations. Secondly, it's just, I mean, I am hyped up. I've never been this hyped up for a hurricane season, regardless of how active it's going to be. Hey, I like that graph. What graph? What you looking at, huh, Colleen? Yes, the tropics are still quiet, but that's not going to last for long. I want you all to understand it is June. And you know what? Honestly, I sure hope and I pray to the Lord that it remains quiet through at least the middle of July, because I am going to be very busy in late June into early July. I am just going to be smacked with a lot of stuff. In part, making sure I have things in place for when I do have to go live for an extended period of time, for like, again, 24 hours. Not to mention the live tropical storm discussions definitely going to be there. Like I said, morning video at like 3 or 4 in the morning, followed by a live stream in the afternoon. Something similar to this, but only we would be dealing with a Hurricane Brittany in the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, I read that right. Gulf of Mexico. They haven't changed their name there. Or in the Caribbean. Man, you're going on vacation? From when to when, Brittany? You said it until the end of July. So like the whole month? Wow, that's a long vacation. Yeah, take your vacations now, because, you know, if I get enough money for my streams, I might just be paying my moderators here in the chat. That's only if I actually get enough money. Like, I would actually pay my moderation team. It wouldn't be a whole lot of money because I would have to pay my friend Easy. He would be getting a lot of the money too, because he's the one that's going to run the stream if I have to walk away for like a couple of hours or something. He's going to be like the assistant director in live streaming, in the live streaming department. Yeah, that's why I feel a lot more comfortable about going live for 24 hours, because if I'm asleep, he can take the crown and manage the stream when I'm asleep overnight or something, you know. When will it happen? When will I do this? Well, ask the Tropics. When are you going to get active? That's the question, right? Chances are higher in August, okay, in September, in October, because those 3 months are usually the peak of hurricane season. Well, really in September. But rest assured, rain or shine, what floats your hind or my hind, I will be here live streaming 24 hours before landfall. Ethan B will be on the stream with me. I don't know how that's going to work. Actually, we would have to create a group and I would just have to stay in the call while Easy is doing his thing. We're going to have to figure that out on how that's going to actually work. Good question, Luca, on that. Because I know a lot of you like Ethan. A lot of you love Ethan B as well as Easy. Luckily, David is safe from hurricanes. That's why I'm glad I live in California. And actually, we are, I don't want to offend you all that live in different states, but our state in weather-wise, not in political-wise, our state in a climate-wise is the best climate you could find in the United States. It's not too humid. It's not too dry. It's not too hot or not too cold. You can choose your climate literally within 100 miles. You can live along the coast where it's always cold, or you can live in the Bay Area where it's kind of warm during the summertime and it's cold at night and in the wintertime, or you can live in the Central Valley where I'm at, where it is very hot in the summertime, especially in July and August and September, usually the 3 hot months here, versus in the wintertime when it's a lot colder. Not the best geography, though. Oh, I know, right? Yeah, we are firestorm-tastic over here. We get some big fires. We get some nasty fires. Hey, David, your weather-wise is on Outlooks. Yeah, my weather-wise is on Outlooks. Yeah, I know. Also, for those that are tuning in, one last thing that I wanted to add in here before we close this down in about 8 or 9 minutes is that the 5 monitors that I have, okay, I'm not going to take down my live camera here and show you guys, because then I have to reset it and do all this and that with it. But let's see, is live streaming severe weather events will be a lot easier. Now, the reason why I'm not streaming severe weather events now is just because the time of year that we're in the tropics. I'm very tropical dedicated on this channel right now. But next year, when it comes to severe weather, new year means new stuff planned for the channel. We are going to be doing, hopefully, this will help product me a lot enough to where I'm able to do more live streaming on severe weather. At least 5 or 6 extra more severe weather live streams. In California, you can use live stream earthquakes. Sorry, no, I'm not a USGS Geological Survey channel. Go to Dutch Sense for that. He's good at that stuff. I can't cover everything. I am telling you, I'm a weather channel. I'm not a hurricane geological channel. In California, oh wait, no, I just said that. I'm not, because I'm in Pensacola, Florida. Yeah, you're in the Pensacola. So you're right along the coast there of the Big Bend. That's the worst place to get hurricanes. What webcams do you recommend? Well, anything that's along the coast. Hey, everybody.
Do you like my chipmunk sound? Ho, 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 ho. Yeah, I sound like a little chipmunk.
I'm bored. Nope, I'm in the worst place to get hurricanes. So you must be somewhere along the Gulf Coast then, the R. I mean, I mean webcam. The Elgato stream. So the Elgato Webcam Pro is really good. It's a 4K camera. I know it kind of lags here, but rest assured it does not do that at all in the application. It's because I have other stuff running in the background. Oh, you're in Miami? Yeah, that's That's one of the worst places you can be. You might not be a geologist, but you still rock. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm not a geologist. I really am not. And it's funny because I live in I live in earthquake country, and you would think I would love earthquakes, but they're very unpredictable. They're scary. They are destructive. And I don't like that. I don't like things that are unpredictable. I really don't. All right, you guys are all tuning away from this live stream, so it's probably, that's a signal to my audience that just end it. You've been live for 2 hours. So do you guys have any last minute questions? Anything at all that you guys need to ask me? I'm hoping to have a YouTube video out tomorrow. I'm not a guarantee. It's not 100% guarantee at all tomorrow. Sundays are very tight for me usually. Very tight schedule. Yeah. All right. I think I'm going to end it. Well, anyways, folks, I do appreciate you all tuning in. If you have not subscribed to this channel, okay, I swear you have to subscribe to the channel because guess what? You just heard me say it. We are going to live stream on hurricanes, tropical storms, however you name it, 24 hours before landfall, live tropical discussions once a week or so. YouTube video uploads on the tropics on a daily basis. So if you guys have not subscribed yet, please do so. Please, 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 because you guys are all awesome. I love you guys, and I'll be back with you more possibly tomorrow. And if I am going to upload tomorrow, it will definitely be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. My typical upload time is at 3 o'clock. All right. Peace out, folks. Be safe. Happy Father's Day, and talk to you guys either tomorrow, if not on Monday. Ka-chow.
Ka-chow, ka-chow, yeah. Ha, ha, ha. Have some fun. Happy Father's Day. Honest love.